Hey everybody, I'm Holly, aka the ScientoloGeek, and welcome to the final video in the OCA Analyzed series. The last video I just put out with the unboxing from the anonymous former member. So far, I think it's going to be the last one in the unboxings for a little bit. I don't have any new stuff to unbox or show you guys, so maybe the next video after that type of thing will be a updated collection video, which I'm looking forward to showing. It's going to be a while to film, but I think it's going to go great. So without further ado, let us dive into the the HCO Bulletin of the 1st of May, 1991. So this was after Hubbard died, issue 18. It's from Expanded Dianetics, number 38, and it is the OCA Rundown. It references several previous HCO bulletins, and let's get started.
The Oxford Capacity Analysis, or OCA, is a graph which shows desirable and undesirable characteristics in a case. It plots 10 traits of a PC's personality. The OCA is a vital tool for the Expanded Dianetics Auditor and CS.
That's case supervisor.
It's a reliable test.
No, it's not.
There's really no excuse for an auditor or CS not knowing about OCAs. An OCA is very easy. It's just a graph, and it works. You don't have to look for deep significances.
Although it seems like they do that all the time when it comes to interpreting your results now.
Left side down and unacceptable is madly out of valence and equals an overcharged case. Right side down and unacceptable means violently but covertly insane and equals evil purposes.
How they can take 5 points and just chart them to one trait or one or two traits confuses me, because what happens if one part is down or two parts are down on one side and then the other parts are up? What happens for the in-between parts? Does that mean you're just partially insane or partially evil?
That's all there is to know, except no change of graph time after time. Same repeated curve within small limits equals no case gain equals a problem. If the graph has gone down, it means an ARC break and restim.
Restimulation.
If the graph has risen, this means case gain has occurred. Expanded Dianetics changes an OCA and is run directly against this analysis graph and Science of Survival chart of human evaluation.
So I was looking at this sentence. This means case gain has occurred. So if you're doing auditing and your chart goes up, that just means you're getting more and more indoctrinated to be like Hubbard. Your graph has risen because you meet their personality standards. It means you're more and more brainwashed.
The OCA Rundown. When a pre-clear has been audited through his Expanded Dianetics program, he takes a new OCA test. In the event that there are traits below the center line that have not changed, or traits that are still below the center line, the CS orders what is called the OCA Rundown, keeping in mind that auditing over a present time problem will cause no change in the graph, and auditing over an ARC break can worsen a graph. Using the general theory of Expanded Dianetics to locate evil purposes, one simply finds them on those exact points on the OCA that are down. This is done after general handlings, left side and right side have been completed, and a new OCA still shows some point down. One finds the evil purpose underlying that down point. This can be done by confessionals,
aka security checks,
assessments on the area, and L and Nning for evil purposes.
That stands for listing and nulling, which we'll learn more about later.
Which are then run out R3RA quad.
Now, I don't exactly know what R3RA is. I've heard the term, but I don't exactly know what it means.
This is really all there is to it. An example would be Expanded Dianetics Case E, who had a low G trait, unchanging despite the Expanded Dianetics program having been run. It means a stuck viewpoint, a fixated evil purpose. A CS that addresses and handles this is 1. Fly all routes quad to get the air clean.
Rudiments is basic things. So do you have an ARC break? Do you have a present time problem? Things to do before the session begins.
Two-way communication, marking all reads and BDs as we want the item.
Now, I don't know what a BD is, so I'll have to figure that out.
Tell me something it would be awful to have to take responsibility for. And let's not have an everything's okay floating needle. WC the hell out of the question backwards first.
Word clear the hell out of the question.
There's a trick of impinging such a question after word clearing. Now I'm going to ask you a very serious question, and I want you to give it every thought. Then ask it. When you have the item that really read well, list in null, what would be the intention of somebody who would do that? If the answer to question 2 above was a goal or intention, omit this. R3, RA quad the item, and then do a havingness process. In the same way that the case is initially programmed using the OCA, any point of the OCA which has remained down and in a low, stuck state is addressed with all of the tools of Expanded Dianetics. This is quite simple.
It doesn't seem simple.
It's done by addressing the exact points on the OCA that are down, finding the underlying evil purposes, and running them out.
So what if you're just a really bad communicator? Who's to say that you have evil intentions on evil purposes on communication?
Confessional tech is used to uncover the evil purposes, and these are then run out with R3, RA. Realize that for the OCA to have remained down, there are missed evil purposes, and any confessionals done must be thorough enough and searching enough to really get to the bottom of the aberration, holding down one or more OCA points.
So if your OCA is not good, you did something wrong, and we need to figure out what that is. So again, they're placing the blame on you. This is not on them at all. Actually, this is just completely on the fact that you are evil. You have evil purposes with something.
Additionally, the CS uses assessments to address the specific point or points which have remained low on the OCA graph in order to obtain original items that can then be pre-assessed and handled with R3RA. Having completed the actions to handle the low traits or trait, the CS would now have the PC do a new OCA test. If the OCA has not come up, then the OCA rundown is incomplete or botched, or a full folder error summary of the PC's Expanded Dianetics auditing is needed, followed by a program,
which is at the PC's cost, of course,
to repair or flatten any earlier Expanded Dianetics steps found to be out.
So, you do this process, and if it's still bad, then it's the problem with the auditor. It's not the rundown that's the problem. It's someone did something wrong. It's not the fact that the rundown is wrong.
Summary. The OCA is an indicator. The EP
and phenomena
of Expanded Dianetics is not that the OCA is all above the center line. The EP is a person who is sane, physically well, and who has had his evil purposes and rock slams handled. The OCA serves as one of many indicators that the CS and auditor have on the case. It's a vital tool, however, and must be used well in order to achieve the end phenomena of Expanded Dianetics.
And that is compilation assisted by LRH Technical Research and Compilations. So this is all about the OCA Rundown, and this is the final video in the OCA Analyze series. We finally finished it. We also see how this document tends to place the blame on the PC. Because if you remember, the low points on either side, left is you're not who you're supposed to be, and the right means you're insane and you have evil purposes. So either everything is blamed on you, or everything is blamed on how the rundown was done. Not that it was done the way the policy states, but that it was done incorrectly. So it's either you or the auditor. It's not the tech itself. And that's one of the biggest things that they try to push into you when you join this group, is that the tech is never wrong, but only if it's misapplied. Now, I don't really have an idea of where I'm going to go next with this, or what series I'm going to start next, so if you guys have any input, that would be greatly appreciated. I'll work to try to figure something out, and once I do, I'll let you guys know. Other than that, like if you like the video, dislike if you don't, I don't really care. Comment with your feedback or questions, good, bad, or sideways, and subscribe to be kept up to date on future content. I'll talk to all of you later. See ya.